can probably pull that one closer to you a little bit, Kathy.
Can I?
Yeah.
That'll be Drama Mama's do ASMR.
Yeah.
With my squeaky
can do that
voice.
too. It's the nail tapping, right? Like tap, tap,
I'll try not to cough.
Chew my gum.
We'd love to hear about how
Sorry.
That's all right.
That'll be a new short later.
ASMR.
And it'll have like 50 million views.
It will.
Hey,
It'll far surpass anything.
whatever
we
it takes you guys to go viral, I'm all for it.
Chew away.
Go for it.
I personally want to hear about how Autumn got her start. Like,
Oh, yeah,
when
me
did you
too.
first
Oh, yeah.
know she was like
Yeah.
it, and how you all like lessons and that kind of stuff?
Exactly. What journey did you take to get her there?
And then how you got involved.
Yep.
That, like you were just saying, you started here and it just kind of leveled up, kind of like we're doing. You've already leveled up, but we're still in the leveling up phase.
Yeah, it'll be a while before
Be
I
careful.
get that.
Be careful leveling up.
I know, it's a scary thing. Okay, and then kind of getting into the summer intensives and all the different things she's doing
Yes.
to prepare
Yes.
for getting into a college and what that looks like.
Okay.
And I wrote this down because your child is such a beautiful child. Like, how do you have someone so talented yet so
You
grounded?
guys are so sweet.
Well, it's for real. Like,
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
parents need to hear. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some of it is just her natural being, but that also has a lot to do with the way she's
The
raised.
Yeah.
Angela.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've always been a firm believer in, like, your kids are a product of how you raise them. And that's, I was harsher as a parent, growing up, but she's taught me a lot over the years. She's definitely amazing.
She is.
And I can't take all that credit, so she's a good kid.
She is. She's such a great role model for our kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah. I
I
mean,
love that.
some of our first things that we saw with Autumn, like not just her being in theater in general, but like her work with like the out of the box kids.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was some of the first stuff I saw that like,
It's amazing.
which is weird to think that that's the first stuff I saw, but it kind of, at least it's the first stuff that sticks in my brain anyway, with her specifically, and just how sweet she is with all those kids or adults. Some of them are adults, and how patient and everything. And like, she was just so dedicated with everything else that she was doing. She was still making the time to be a part of that program. And I thought, wow, like we need our kids to see her and be like that.
Yeah, and emulate that.
So my brother has special needs. So he was the firstborn, and he was born with the umbilical cord tied around his neck. So as he got older, my parents didn't at first know that there was anything wrong. This is back in the early 70s. And they found out later when he was kind of missing those milestones that something was wrong. And eventually he just lost all function. So he has to be strapped into his wheelchair. He can't talk, he can't walk, he can't eat on his own. So growing up, going to see him all the time in a facility over in Titusville where there's different houses and there's just so many residents there. So we just would spend the day over there, and we'd walk him around. We'd meet the other residents and all varying levels of special needs. And so I think having exposure to that definitely gave her a little bit of a comfort level when she got involved with Out of the Box, because it's definitely not something that someone can just run and just be comfortable
No.
doing
Yeah.
it. It's
a little intimidating,
it is
you know?
intimidating, and a lot of people don't know how do you act or what do you do. But I think having that exposure when she was younger definitely helped that, and that's definitely her favorite program that she's involved in.
Oh, it's my favorite by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Such a special place.
It is,
Love
and
that.
it, gives you all those warm
Joy.
fuzzies.
I know. If you want to
Yeah.
get in this Christmas spirit, man, go see them. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'll
I
be
was
here before we know it.
next week actually.
Yeah, next week.
I always would tell my kids, and we've kind of jumped right in, so we may have to edit some of this, but when they were younger, I would say, all right, I want you to look at Autumn, and then I would pick a boy. I would say, if you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, I want you to look at those two people. And if whatever they're doing is the right thing, that's what you need to be doing. And now they've kind of grown into that. All right, you guys are the role models now, so you need to be careful about what you're doing.
Yeah, that
Because
feels
the little
weird.
kids are looking at you, but I always used her as an example of this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because
It
not
feels-
everybody does.
It feels weird to me though, because like to me, our kids are still the babies,
But they're not.
but they're not anymore.
It's going to go by really fast.
That's how it feels.
really fast.
Like
Yeah. I mean,
Blink of
I
an
was
eye.
thinking the same thing when she started getting involved. It was always like, oh, well, you know, look how good how talented this person is, or, you know, this person is helping backstage, or, you know, doing the lighting, or, you know, helping with the sound. And she just wanted to learn everything she could about the theater. So, yeah. So I think it definitely role models in the different, I'll say generations. I think they're all the same generation, but
They're kind of different generations.
Yeah,
It's like we're kind of cycling out into
Little bit, yeah.
And I'm sure that happens a lot, and you've seen that because she's
Yeah.
older than our kids.
yep.
Should we back up and introduce ourselves and just
yeah, we'll
or just
probably
keep
just take
free
a second.
flowing?
So
Okay.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Angela,
And I'm Kathy.
and we have with us today our awesome friend Kat, who's going to tell us all about her amazing daughter Autumn and her journey to get into a musical theater college, which will be next year.
Yes.
Oh man, It
How
goes so
scary
We're
is
right in the
that?
thick of it. It's very scary. It's crazy. I remember when she was your kid's age and younger. I know they say
wild.
it goes by fast, but it really, a blink of an eye.
It's faster every year. I feel like.
The older we get, I think
Yeah.
the faster it goes. Unfortunately.
Sadly.
So,
Yes. And I'm sure it feels that way for you because she's older and she's driving, and you know you've been
Oh,
able
yeah,
to
that's a
step
whole
back,
different
which
ball
is
game. Yeah.
good and bad. I'm sure
Yeah.
it feels happy and sad
I
at the same
miss
time.
it, but yeah, it is. It's a good independence for her to be able to go and do her own thing.
Yeah.
So
It's nice for you too. I'm kind of looking forward
to get
to
a
it.
little bit of that back, not having to wake up at 5:30 or 6
Oh,
o'clock in the
God.
morning to drive
Yeah.
to school, and that definitely is late rehearsals, and it's definitely nice
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
for sure.
It's a lot.
Well, we're super excited to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we definitely consider Kat to be one of those OG drama mamas.
She's kind of our role model.
I
Like
would
we
guess
were the
so.
babes coming
You
in,
guys are
and you were
so
stage
sweet.
managing, and
It's a little intimidating for
I
us, you know, to
know.
make Kat in the house. So when we first met Kat, I think we just kind of talked about this, but our kids were just starting out, you know, and you had already kind of catapulted up into the.
You were our
assistant
role
stage
model.
manager. Yeah, exactly.
Aw.
Totally.
No, absolutely. As moms just starting, we had no idea what was going on. And you definitely, I mean, you know, I know for all of us, but especially for me, kind of walked me through that process with Gabby. You were there with us when she had her first big role in Miracle.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that
that was awesome.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, what does she wear? What do I, you know, how do I help her? How does she learn her lines? And I mean, you were just fabulous. So
Thank you.
You will always have a special place in our heart. Even in the very, very first for Pinky and Gabby doing.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping
Thank you.
Beauty.
I know.
Yes.
It's one of those princesses. Yeah, doing the Sleeping Beauty. So Gabs was a bird, and Pinky was
She was a squirrel.
a squirrel.
Sorry, I was distracted because I was
I
hearing
know,
beep, beep,
horn
beep,
honking.
and then
and Lily Kate was a frog.
Live radio.
All my
Lily
little
Kate's
woodland
frog.
creatures.
I know.
yes.
So woodland creatures, and then you met Kat even before then.
At Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
that was
which
our
is-
first go around.
I remember Lily Kate was a twin.
Yes, that's right.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been a long time, you know.
Yeah, it's been a few years doing theater stuff together, and you know, all our kids. We looked up to you, and our kids looked up to your daughter.
Oh, 100%.
We still do.
Absolutely. Want to be like Autumn.
I want to be like Autumn too.
That girl's got some talent. When did you first recognize that she had something special?
As soon as that girl opened her mouth, like my older son was always very quiet. So I don't think he even talked until he was like 3 years old. Very quiet, could comprehend. But Autumn, as soon as she was born, she was making noises, and she was always running around the house dressing up in costumes and putting on shows.
All the typical
Singing,
signs.
dancing, yeah, just your typical little. But she was a tomboy too. She loved playing sports, and she was into soccer, and she did baseball. She didn't want to do softball. She wanted to do baseball. So we just had her in a bunch of different activities when she was younger, and she kind of enjoyed everything that she did. She was just one of those kids that was very happy-go-lucky, very, very easy child. So, but she just loved to perform. Wasn't the best singer, And then we heard about a summer camp that they were doing theater summer camp. So I was like, I'm going to enroll her in the summer camp. And that was it. That was the end. I think she was 8 or 9. She got a solo in Schoolhouse Rock. She was the Bill. So she
Oh my gosh, I love that
went
guy.
out there
I
and
remember
belted.
I love him.
I'm just a Bill. And like, the proud mom in the back just beaming because, her kid's on stage doing a solo. But from that day on, she just wanted to get involved with everything theater. So she wanted to take voice lessons. She wanted to do dance lessons. She wanted to do acting classes. Did the summer camp for many years after that too. Any kind of musical theater related thing she wanted to be involved with. She still did sports. And her goal was to just, get into an actual show. She had auditioned so many times, and I remember this about her, and this is just her personality. And she auditioned, I think Little Mermaid was her first audition. She wasn't cast. I think they cast, 60, 80 kids. She wasn't cast. And she was like, that's okay. I'll get it next. I'll get the next one.
Good for her.
Like,
I love that.
and it wasn't something forced. Sometimes you have to talk and tell your kids, it's okay. There's other opportunities. You got to be positive. I didn't have to say any of that to her. At 8 or 9 years old, she was that's her personality. So,
Wow.
yeah, something
That's
that
pretty rare.
something
That is
that
very
I
rare.
can learn from. I'm like, dang, okay.
Yeah.
And she went through several more auditions for different shows, main stages. I think she auditioned for Cinderella. She auditioned for Seussical. She auditioned for all sorts of shows. Didn't get cast. She had callbacks and then wasn't cast. The whole time. She's like, it's okay. Like, I'll try it again. There's another audition coming up in a couple of months. So finally, her first show that she was cast in was Aladdin. And she was cast as ensemble, and she was the most excited I've ever, she didn't care. She just wanted to be a part of it. And then we did everything, I think, at the theater, several, community theaters locally. Every opportunity she had, we were in a show. And you guys know the time commitment to that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Jumped from one
absolutely.
show to the next. And she just really, really enjoyed it. So I remember, I think it was her 4th grade journal, she had written that she wanted to go to a performing arts high school because she, when you're in theater, you work and you meet the best friends of your life. There's just some great people at the theater, and she just made some great connections. She had heard about the local performing arts high school, and so that was the next thing. She had to get in there. So I remember her pulling out her journal and writing in her goals. Totally I didn't prompt her to do this either, so
That's
I
amazing.
don't know where
Yeah.
she came from. So that was her goal, and then over the next couple of years, she just focused on doing shows and taking lessons and just bettering herself. Her first big lead role was Hairspray Junior. She played Tracy Turnblad, and that was like the turning point where she got a taste of I like this better than ensemble.
pretty
So
awesome.
she enjoys ensemble too. But and then there's shows where she didn't get cast in, so she'd work as a tech. So she's done all the stuff backstage. She's helped build sets. She wanted to know every aspect of the theater, to the point where she did stop doing soccer. That was her last thing that she kind of stopped. But she had to make a choice, and we left it up to her. And she's like, theater's where it's at for me. So fast forward, she gets into the Performing Arts High School for musical theater. And her thing going into it was, I don't know if I want to do this as a career. This is something that I've done for years that kind of consumed me, but that's where she thrives, is on stage. And she just loves it. From getting to know the younger kids, working with the older kids, and even the adults, just every aspect of it. So her goal into going into high school, into performing arts, was to really decide if she was cut out for going further. So,
And has she made that decision?
she has. So, and it's funny because I think her class size originally was 17, I think, in the musical theater class, and I think it's down to 13. So, musical theater, all of the the programs, I guess, at the high school, you have to put a lot of time in, to the point where they were like, you know, you're not going to be able to do the community stuff as much anymore because, you know, you're going to be so swamped with everything for
Yeah,
school.
we've missed her.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, she's
absolutely.
definitely missed out. And it is very different. It's very different coming from a local community theater, going into an educational, but it's different, but it's also good because you kind of get, she misses the theater. It's fun. It's relaxed. Going into, the high school, it's just more, there's a lot more structure. You know, it's a lot more serious. So that she knew, like, that's probably more what it's going to be like when she gets older, if that's what she chooses to pursue. And a lot of the kids in her class slowly kind of dropped from doing it because it just takes up so much of your time. And if you're not dedicated and you don't really love it, there's no point for you to be in that program.
Yeah.
It's a great high school. The teachers are phenomenal, but if you're not dedicated, then, you know, you can still be a part of another, you know, area or something that doesn't take so much of your time. But she loved it to the point where that's what she wants to pursue. She wants to go to college specifically for musical theater, for a Bachelor of Fine Arts.
So at
that's
this
amazing.
age, has she already started the applications, right, for the colleges that she wants to go to?
Yeah, so she started probably the beginning of her junior year actually looking into colleges, because some of these colleges that she has found I have never heard of. So you have your big, you know, you have your ones like everybody knows Michigan, University of Michigan and Florida State, Penn State. But there's smaller ones that have great musical theater programs. I think Baldwin Wallace is on the top of her list. That's in Ohio. They're all out of state. A lot in New York City, just small, mostly private colleges.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot that goes into that. So she started looking into what, you know, where the colleges were, what type of campus, what type of program. Because when you go into a BFA for musical theater, it's not a traditional college experience. You don't sit in with your gen eds. You go straight into a musical theater program. So you might have one gen ed class a semester. The rest of it's training.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
okay.
me
acting.
neither. Yeah.
So my son, who's at UF, he had to go through, he's like, yeah, I got like 3,000 people in my English class. We're in this auditorium. Like, it's not like that for musical theater. And she will have classes like that eventually, but you jump right in your freshman year. So it's not like you have to wait till your junior year.
Right. There's no prereqs essentially for that. Okay.
That's interesting difference too, even from getting into the high school, because that first year that they're in the high school, right? They're ushering. They're not actually allowed to audition yet.
Correct.
Not till the spring. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So because they have to observe, because even somebody coming from, has done a lot in the community theater, it's just a different ball game. But they teach them so much, and being a part of the ushering or like building the set and learning the backstage stuff. That first year, it's still a lot. But yeah, it's different. You jump right into these programs. So, she started looking her junior year and carved out a bunch of different colleges. We have notebooks over notebooks of just, because she's a handwriter. She likes to just, I know, right?
I probably should
Gonna
do
put
some
them on eBay.
Yeah.
self-publishing or something.
Seriously.
Yeah, she's just looking at, she's like, oh, this is a cute college town, and it has a little downtown. She loves downtown, and where we live in proximity to downtown, or it's in walking distance.
Yeah, it's great.
so
Yeah.
nice.
That's
She
my
likes that
favorite.
lifestyle.
Yeah. So it's like, does she like being in a big city? And she, to this point, I think beginning of her junior year, she still had never been to the city. She'd never been to New York City. We had scheduled a trip that got canceled, and then I think it was 3 or 4 days before they left for their school trip, because her freshman year, they were supposed to, they were taking whoever wanted to go, they, paid their dues. They were going to New York City. They were going to be at 54 below, and they were going to do an intensive. Yeah. COVID.
54 below.
Oh man.
Yep. 3 or 4 days before their trip.
That was her first year, and so she
It was her first
wasn't on the stage at all for.
Yeah, but you know what? They did her school did some amazing things. They actually, a friend produced a musical, and they did it all through film. They individually filmed each of those characters, and then they spliced it together to make this musical. And so I can't talk enough about the people that you meet doing this stuff, and just the talent level of people thinking about how can we get these kids to still perform, because it was pretty, just like all your kids, it was a sad time. Like,
Yeah.
We couldn't perform, we couldn't do much. And, but she did a lot of research. So she had her list, but still, it was still kind of new to us, the whole college process, up until probably the summer is when we really started to, we met with some friends that had just graduated and gone through the process, got some advice from them. And then she ended up getting a scholarship to go to a summer intensive.
So explain what that is.
So they do, you can look them up, like places do them all over the place over the summer. It's kind of like the summer camp we all do here, but kind of on steroids, where,
Right.
It can last, 2 or 3 weeks. Some of them, I think, go up to like 6 weeks or 2 months, and a lot of them are through colleges. So there's varying ones. The one that she did was actually through a company in New York City. And she got the scholarship to pay for her tuition there. So for 8 days, we lived in the city and went to that intensive. And it was just as grueling as what she's used to. So it's not, not any different from what she's used to. But she was surrounded by brand new people that, she instantly became friends with, because that's just what they do and have that special bond. But she got to actually train with people that are currently on Broadway.
Nice.
And people who had been on Broadway, casting directors for Broadway and touring shows. So she just got a little experience that way, and got to do a little showcase at the end of the week in front of casting directors.
Wow.
So that was
that's
that was
great.
pretty neat.
What would something like that cost without the scholarship?
I think I've put the numbers out of my head.
Scary numbers.
I want to say it was probably for the week, maybe $2,000, $1,700, $2,000. That's just the
Sounds about
tuition.
right.
And so
That's
that's
not.
It's not staying
right,
there.
staying there, and
That's
your
not the
food and
hotel.
everything.
It's not the
Food.
plane. It's not the food.
Right.
It's not all the
Which is
shows that you
expensive
have to
enough.
see when you go to New York
Right.
City.
Yeah.
So it's pricey.
Is it something you're invited to, or you can apply, or how does that work?
So there's different ones. Most of the college ones, and the one that she did is audition. So you have to audition for it. And we didn't know it at the time, but this was, I guess, this week that she went was like the primo week. Everybody was like, "Have you never done this before?" We're like, "No." They're like, "Oh, well, how did you get into week 4?" I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
I don't know. We just
So-
auditioned. She's good. She's just that
She's
good.
that
I
good.
don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you.
And I
Exactly.
I think our kids got used to like filming themselves through COVID, being on Zoom, and even though my daughter's not the best with technology, sorry, Autumn,
She can't be good at everything.
you had to submit videos of you singing, doing monologues, dancing, in order to be accepted into the intensive. So, and that, I think a lot of them are like that.
Okay.
And probably if they're more expensive, I'm sure you could find ones that are non-audition that you can probably, people kind of buy their way in, but it's pricey. So it's definitely, I think it was worth it for sure. I think it gave her a little bit independence. We stayed a couple of blocks from the studio. So, not the first day, but after I got comfortable, she was able to she just got ready on her own. She had her bag, she had her water bottle, and she walked herself to the studio, and she loves the city. So it was a good experience. I probably, would have scraped up the money to do it. Had we have to do it again, it definitely would have considered it. But it's something to save up for if your children are not at that point yet, because usually they do it the summer you go into your senior year.
Right.
You can do it before, but definitely that summer before senior year is where most of the colleges, they want you to kind of get a taste of college life. And even some of the colleges, we had a friend that did one for Penn State, and like they say, okay, you're here in this intensive, so now you've passed your pre-screen if you apply here, which we'll talk about in a second because that's a whole nother process for college.
Yeah, I want to hear all about this.
Terrifying.
Yes.
But it is pricey, so definitely something to save up for.
But it's definitely something that will look really good on a resume going into college.
Yeah, I think I have a whole theory about college resumes. And going off topic to my son, who is not a performer at all, and he, very intelligent kid, but he was, I think well-roundedness is very, very important. And he had a lot of well-roundedness on his resume. He had great test scores and great GPA, and he got into the honors program at UF with a scholarship, and his friend, who I think even had a higher GPA than him, didn't. So I think well-roundedness really helps with resumes. So I try to tell that to Autumn, be like, maybe some non-theater stuff might be good on there, which she has done, just not as much. But I think that definitely helps. I think anything you can put on your resume is always a bonus.
Right.
The hard part is getting that thing down to like one page to where it looks nice and formatted nice. So that whole process of applications. So I knew nothing about when my son, he's like, Common App, Mom, I'm applying to 4 or 5 schools, and it's all on the Common App. You do your essays, you fill out some forms and government forms, which are a pain in the butt, but it's just what you do. And, you wait, you get your acceptance or you're not, and you go from there. Easy. It wasn't easy at the time, but compared to what we're going through now.
Yeah, you can look back on it
In
and be like,
perspective.
"Man,
So-
Autumn, what about that Common App?"
So I'll say the one really, really important thing that we did get out of the summer intensive, and this company in New York City, the lady that founded this company, it was just amazing. And she held some webinars for the parents. So Q&As, talking about college, talking about life in the business as a child actor, all sorts of stuff. But she gave us, I went to one of the college webinars. She gave us a list of the top musical theater colleges broken out into categories with like extreme reach schools. Like, these are really hard to get into. These are kind of hard to get into. These are moderate, and these are kind of your safety, That helped a ton. But then she had icons, and it was like, if it has a money icon next to it, they give good scholarships. Or if it has little feet,
nice.
like this is a very dance heavy school. So it kind of, it's like this one page I can look at and be like, well, this one has feet. I'm like, oh, no, we'll go, maybe we'll look at this one. But there was just a lot of good information that we got also out of that intensive that she did. And all of it's available online. It's just, you got to do your own research, and there's a ton of it.
To have somebody direct you in the right way.
But it is harder to get into a musical theater program in college than it is to get into Ivy League.
Wow.
So when I heard that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what can we do to kind of help ourselves get ahead and make sure that this is what you want to do? She's putting all her eggs in one basket. A lot of her friends they're applying to a couple of musical theater schools, and then some of her friends want to go off and do, director stuff, or they want to go into accounting, or they want to do something else.
Something completely different.
So they kind of have,
They've
I would
diversified.
say, like a backup plan, but yeah, there's other things. So she's putting all her eggs in one basket. She's like, no, this is what I want to do. She's mapped out the next 20 years of her life, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh my God.
I love it.
She's-
We all need to be more like
she's
Autumn.
great.
and
God.
she has several backup
Autumn
plans.
do.
So it's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, this is the route I'm going. So, but she is not. She's applied to all musical theater schools, musical theater programs. So, I'm like, okay, hearing that it's harder to get into than Harvard or Princeton. The intensive that we were at in New York City also told us you have to apply to about 20 to 25 colleges to get really, an acceptance or two into a musical theater program. So all I'm seeing is dollar signs
Right.
flashing in my head.
Yeah.
That's not free.
Yeah,
No,
'cause
it
it's
is not
scholarship
free.
hunting time now. And
Well,
you
it
gotta
just-
stack
yeah,
'em.
That's a whole nother point.
And the application process, I mean, that costs, how much
Yeah.
does it cost? I have no idea. It's been so long.
Anywhere, some of the colleges are 0, some are 25, some are 50, some are 100. It ranges. So it was like a shock when we'd go to submit an application, like even through the Common App, they take you to the college's website and be like, okay, you're about to submit, pay the fee. So we kept a little running total of what that costs. And there's fee waivers too. So like, I think families that are on like free and reduced lunch, and like you can take your SATs and ACTs for free, you can get fee waivers if you're eligible for those. So that's definitely something to definitely take advantage of, especially if you have to go through this process.
Every little bit you can save.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, but the whole goal around picking these schools is you don't want to apply to 20 schools in your extreme reach category. You want to kind of diversify that a little bit. So, you take a couple from here, a couple from here. Majority are from the kind of the moderate category, and then a couple of safety. So you have a very wide range. Because in the end of the day, would you love to go to the top musical theater college where your senior showcase is on Broadway? And of course you would. Everybody would. Right. But getting an education, I mean, anywhere you go, you're going to run into some great people, and you're going to have opportunity wherever you go. You just got to make your opportunity. And I'm like, Florida, Autumn, Florida. Like,
That's right.
you
Stay
have
here. We
the cruise
have stuff
ships,
here.
you have theme parks.
Yes, goodness.
But yes, but her goal is to not be in Florida. So we'll see how that works out. So, so we have done the academic process. I think right now we're at 18 schools that we've applied to. I say we, because
Well,
I have had
it's-
to help out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
And she's
support.
pretty organized, but even like her senior year is crazy. In 2 musicals at school, taking SATs and ACTs, she holds down a job. She's in world choir. It's just crazy. She has AP classes. It's a lot. But
It's a pretty
it's
important
life.
point that you kind of have to like stop and go, holy shit, about, because these kids that get into these art programs, and it's not just musical theater or theater,
Right.
like from the band world, like all of us band nerds, we were all kind of the same. We had AP
I was
classes.
a band nerd too. I played clarinet. So
Oh, that's it. Yeah, clarinet and sax.
yeah, there you go.
I knew we were kindred spirits.
Is
But,
it the wood? The wood?
The wood instruments.
wood?
It is. I don't know. Where we going with that, Kathy?
Just making, connecting some dots.
But the arts, when every time you hear about, they want to cut the arts in this school or that school
Yeah.
or whatever, it just pains me a little bit, because I'm like, that is the smart kids. You're trying to take away from the smart kids, all the ones that are bringing your, school grading stuff up. You're cutting all the stuff that keeps them alive, really.
Yeah.
So, hearing that, because I have a kid in the same fine arts school
Yep.
already, and the next one auditioning. Oh my gosh, the time. But all her stuff is AP.
Yep.
And she's about to go into her senior year next year, and she's all done with her academics. Like, it's
Yeah.
literally only just the
Right.
band stuff now. But these kids, they're so smart. They're so smart.
And they're, what is the word? Oh my gosh, I totally lost it. Dedicated isn't the word, but they're driven.
They are
They're
driven.
so driven.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
have lots of
very
ambition.
important.
Yeah.
And you think about the school, the school they're attending, it's an audition school. You have to audition to get in. So it's like, they want to be there.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she's like, oh, I feel like crap. She's like, I'm going to school, because she doesn't want to miss.
Yeah.
Like, she's
been a whole thing
extremely
for-
driven.
For Michaela too. And she was like, she was sick, and I was like, well, just stay home, baby, get some rest. She's like, no, I have to be there. I need my perfect attendance. Like, she was going for some shit this year.
Yeah.
And she'll make it
So-
too. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I think, I attribute a lot of what she's learned so much from just being involved in theater. There's articles out there about theater and what it teaches you as a child, just your organizational skills, your time management skills,
Yeah.
your ability to do multiple things and focus on different things at the same time. It's done. I attribute that to being involved in the theater.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
everything she's done,
and
social
being able
skills.
to speak in front of people.
Yeah, and from a young age, she's had to learn
Yeah.
to juggle her time.
Yeah. And this is nothing new to her. So, I can't imagine somebody going into this process into college and like without having a pretty solid background in it and jumping into it and being like, what the heck? Because, you get into a show and your rehearsal, you guys know your rehearsal. And that's where, when she started getting into all these shows, I was like, I may as well volunteer.
Yeah, you're there.
Right. That's
I may
exactly
as well
what happened
do
with us.
something.
Yeah.
And put,
I'd rather be
Save on
hopeful
gas.
than just
Right.
sitting around. What
Or
am
I
I
could
gonna
drive
do? Like,
back and forth, or I
wait
could
in my
help.
car in
Yeah.
the parking lot and read a book.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean,
done
I've done
that.
that too. I know. I've done that too. Brought my laptop. I've worked. I've done
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. But getting involved was also fun. And, I never was involved in theater. I enjoyed seeing shows, but her being involved in theater and pulled me into being involved in theater. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do it more.
Well, it's funny. I felt like my discovery of theater through Pinky made me find my people.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
It is.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
I do.
Because I've always counted myself as a band nerd at
Yeah.
heart,
Yep.
But yeah, even though I don't play hardly at all anymore, like I have guitar I occasionally pull out, but the clarinet's in storage at the moment.
I donated mine because I was like,
Well, I sold my guitar or my saxophone.
You're going to have time on your hands next year. You're going to
I
wish
was
you had
like,
that clarinet.
Well, no, it won't be the clarinet. Like, I'm no Squidward, right? So, no, we're not doing that. Coming back to the theater, though, that is definitely on
Yeah.
my list
Yeah.
because I
We want you to
enjoyed
come
it
back.
Yeah.
so
We
much.
miss you.
Well, I'll be there. And I know it was funny because when I talked to your daughter, she's like, you're going to come see the shows after Autumn's gone? I'm like, of course. I got to watch the rest of my kids grow up. She's like, oh, my gosh.
She told me that, and she still, every
She's-
time she sees you, Miss Cat's here, Miss Cat's
Yeah.
here.
I mean, I go to watch your kids.
Yeah.
As a stage manager, your kids are the kind of kids that we love to have. So,
Well, and you become friends with the other moms and dads, but then you
Yes.
become friends with all the children. Like
Yes.
I love going to see Mary Poppins because I know
'Cause
so
you
many
know
of those
everybody in the
kids,
cast.
and you're just so excited for them.
Yeah.
when
I
you get to
love
see them
seeing
perform.
the kids that have graduated come back to see the shows too.
Yes.
Like they're
Yes.
so. That's the other thing too about everybody in the theater community is they're also supportive of each other, and I don't know if that comes from this place of the cliques in high school and the jocks pick on the geeks and all of that happened. At least that's how it was when I was. I don't know if it's like that at Harrison. I don't feel like it is.
I don't know that it's like that at Harrison. I think I know that Autumn's class is like, it's a dysfunctional family. They love each other. They hate each other.
They're
They are-
ridiculously talented.
They are
Like,
ridiculously
oh my
Yeah.
talented.
They are,
Yeah,
yeah.
that class is phenomenal.
They really are.
But they will always be there for each other, no matter what their differences are.
Yeah.
They are there to support each other, and hands down, no questions asked. So, I think it's just different type of people.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you're all working together toward one common goal, and I really think that bonds you when you're in a show together.
Yes.
That's very true. I mean, because you do a show with people, you just form this bond that's like unlike any other.
I know Autumn's friends, they will always be there for her. So it's just nice to have that genuine friendship. It's not somebody being fake. It's not somebody,
And these are lifetime friends. These are
They
friends that
are.
are going to be with her throughout, and they're always going to have those
the
memories and
connections
that
she has
bond.
made working at various community theaters around the area and school and just meet even just the adults.
Right.
She has just made a lot of connections and a lot of special people.
Yeah.
So
I
She
saw
can call any one of us if she ever needed something. We would be
right.
right there
Yeah,
for
she
her.
will. Drop everything.
yeah.
right.
I say
Yeah.
Autumn has a lot of aunts. She has a lot of aunties out there.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
I saw it with my daughter last night because she had auditioned and she had gotten a call back and she didn't get the role. So of course she was sad, but she was genuinely happy for her other friends that she doesn't know who got the role yet, but two of them got to stay on and go through the final stages. And they can be upset for themselves, but then genuinely happy for
Right.
the other people. And I think that's a beautiful
And it is
thing.
hard because Autumn has some friendships where growing up, they've always, they're each other's competition. And
Yeah.
it's really tough to be like, oh, like I didn't get the role. But, you wallow in it for a few minutes and then you turn right around and then you're there supporting them.
Yes.
So,
Yep, absolutely. And all of those feelings are completely natural and completely human.
Yeah,
as
of
far
course.
as, you know,
Oh,
it's okay.
absolutely.
You're allowed to be upset about
Exactly.
it. But then we're going to
Yep.
turn it up and, oops.
I know. I've
Yeah.
hit it a few times.
It's like
too.
stages of grief. You have to go through it, and then you get to the other
it's
side.
totally stages of grief. Absolutely.
So you've done 18 or so applications. How many more do you think?
So we've done 18 academic applications. So after the academic application, then there's the artistic
Oh
application.
dear.
Oh, Lordy.
So the artistic application, it depends on the school, but most of them require a pre-screen. And this is where you have to upload specific cuts. Standard is, 2 contrasting 32 bar cuts of, songs one before 1970. There's all these rules about
Okay.
what you can perform. But they basically want to see 2 contrasting songs, up-tempo and a ballad. 1 to 2 monologues, also contrasting. And then they have dance videos. So, you can do a published dance. You just have to give credit to the choreographer. You can choreograph. And then there's a wild card video that can be anything. So it can just be you
get to
talking.
choose what it is?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do anything. It could be a special skill, something completely different, comedy. Like you can just sit there and talk to them. You can show them
Wow.
a clip of you in a production, anything you want it to be. And kids get really clever with those. And then there's a bunch of other optional videos that you can do, like 30 seconds of ballet or 30 seconds of tap. And then there's additional essays potentially. And all of that has to be uploaded through different vehicles, I guess. You go online, you either log into your portal, because now that you've applied to these 18 schools, every one of them has sent you a link to their portal.
Awesome.
And you have to
Separate
create your own
portal.
username and
Wow.
and password. So then you got to keep track of all that. So every time you go to log in, but then some of them use a platform which is similar to like Common App. They do a common pre-screen, so everything is kind of the same. So that's nice when they do that, because some of the monologues, they want it chest up. Some of the monologues, they want from the knees up. Some of them, they want full body.
Oh, so you
They
can't
want-
even redo the same one over and over.
Yeah, so it's like when you pick your monologue, you have to film it, maybe 3 different ways, because this school might want the full body shot. This one might want the close up. So there's all these different rules about how to film these things. So it's a pain. It's a pain
Yeah.
because you're writing it and it's like you think you have it all down, and then you go to submit and you're like, oh, this school wanted this one in this format or something. And then you either have to create a YouTube link to put all your videos, or you upload them. They can't be over the time frame. Like if it's a 30-second, if you go over by a second, they say that, don't do that, because they're just looking for a reason to not have to watch that. If they're getting like 5,000 applications in, they're only taking maybe 8 to 12 into their program.
Oh my God.
That's just one reason to throw that out the window without even watching it. So it's very important to kind of keep all that in mind. So
That's like a full-time job right
it
there.
is.
I was about to ask, is there a service that does this for you?
No, I'm going to create one.
You should.
Create one for y'all. That's what I'm going to do.
Please do. Please do. You have a little bit of
We'll
time.
promote you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I can get I have all these spreadsheets and all sorts of stuff.
Goodness.
I know.
Yeah.
I keep hitting the
Knocking
mic
it.
too. It's weird because it takes a second to get used to having it here.
And then after a while, you forget. And
I don't know. Like you're talking about the different formats and stuff, and since I've dabbled in video stuff. I'm doing some
Yeah.
stuff here, but it kind of makes me think like you just need to get familiar with editing, because you could probably film full body
Probably
and then
a
just
good
crop
skill.
it down, sort of like when you crop a photo.
I was just thinking have 3 different cameras going in each
could
with
also do
different
that.
video.
It's like there's a
You
lot
take
of
your
different
phone,
ways.
Autumn's phone, and like your son's phone, and just put them all up.
Yeah, that's not me.
What's up?
I'm glad I have a techie friend. I mean, I do work in tech, but
Not that
I
part.
deal with software. No.
It's a different kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't ask me how to fix something on the computer at all. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. The way that we did it was literally like we hired somebody to film.
Good. Okay.
We hired somebody who is just created some great sound quality, blended. Because
Do you like go to their studio to record and
Yeah.
okay?
Oh,
I
that's
feel like I've
awesome.
seen people share stuff like that before.
Yeah. And I mean, anybody could really do it. You get a ring light, you make sure your lighting is good. You get, filming off an iPhone these days is almost just as good, but
Yeah.
But the quality of the sound, just, I was like, no, we need to have them done professionally.
So how did she pick her songs? Like, she's sung so many brilliant, amazing pieces.
Well, so for college, she auditioned her intensive that she did last summer. She auditioned with A Trip to the Library, which was a song that she had done for her juries. And it wasn't a song, like, when I want to hear my daughter sing, like, she's got a belt. Mm-hmm. She can just blow your face away. And that's what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear your belt. This song is not that. It is an acting song. And if one thing that I have learned about this industry is, like, great, you can sing. Yeah, okay, good, you can move. It's the acting. The acting is super, super important. And so they want to see something different. They don't want you to just, how many belters do they see? Mm-hmm. They want something different. They want to see that you can do something different. So that song is more of kind of like it's telling a story.
Like, it takes you on a journey.
It takes you on a journey. It tells a story. It's funny. And the way that she did it, so when she auditioned for that song, for her intensive, she ended up getting assigned like somebody to work with her before she went to New York, because then she got some private vocal with the intensive. And she submitted a belting song. She submitted A Trip to the Library, and I think one other one. And they were like, we want you to do this song. It got extremely good feedback from a lot of people in our studio. We want you to do this song. So She was like, really? Because, like, there's not, she's singing in it. She sounds beautiful, but it's not, it's not the high notes, Mm-hmm. So I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't.
So we feel very much the same way.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
all the time.
But, so that's one of the ones she went with, because she actually did that for a couple of casting directors, and they loved it. So that's what she chose, one of her songs. And the other one shows more of the higher notes, the belting. So she's just showing the contrast there. So that's important when you're picking your music. If you have to do two contrasting ones, you really want to do two contrasting ones. Don't do the same thing in both. So that's important. And it's the same with the monologues too. She has a comedy monologue, and she has a more of a emotional monologue. So
they like to see dynamics. It doesn't matter what they're judging you in, right?
Yeah.
You remember that from bands.
Yes. Yep.
Now, has Autumn always been more of a dancer, more of a singer? Gabby did an intensive over the summer too, and one thing that really kind of was brought to our attention is that you kind of have two types. You either have like a dancer who can sing, or you have a singer who can move. So where has Autumn kind of fallen into that?
She is, in my opinion, it's definitely the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
For her, she is a singer first, but she also, she's taken acting, she's taken dance. So I feel that she's stronger in vocal, and usually somebody going in does have, strength in one of those three areas, and then they're maybe good at the other two.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
we talked about that triple threat all the time, about how important that is to be well-rounded. And, and they'll say, oh, you might be really good at one thing. Stick with that. Concentrate on that. But then supplement those other two so that they can be brought along as well.
Yeah, I think lessons, because, like, I would never have thought to put my child in vocal lessons when she was younger. And, she was singing all the time. I videotaped her in the kitchen and we were baking cookies. I post that every year on Facebook, and she's like, Mom.
Oh, it's my favorite. When she's like 5 years old. I love that one.
She's singing like the Jackson 5s, like Santa Claus is coming to town. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, it's cute, but but then putting her in vocal lessons was probably one of the best things we did.
What age did you start that?
I think it was 9 or 10. She did dance when she was like 4 or 5, and she was like, it's okay. So we had her enrolled in dance, but it wasn't something that we stuck with at the time, because she found soccer and she loves soccer. So we kind of switched over to that. But then once they announced Hairspray, she's like, I gotta learn how to dance. So she's like, I need dance lessons. So she's like, so we got dance lessons. So, And that was all her driving it. It wasn't me forcing it. And that's the other thing too. When your kids are little, we put our kids in everything just to try to find something that would stick.
Yeah.
Because we wanted them to be involved. We wanted
Yes.
them to be, find something that they enjoyed doing, whether they were good at it or not. It didn't matter. Just something they enjoyed. But it was always our thing. If you start something for a season and you don't like it, you still have to stick it out
Yep,
through the
finish
season.
it.
Yep.
And you don't ever have to do it again if you don't want to. So we've been through taekwondo and gymnastics and dance and swimming, baseball, soccer, like tennis, like all sorts of things that we've gone through. And yeah, theater stuck.
And it's a financial commitment, but it's so worth it to get that leg up with the private lessons,
It
the
is.
voice.
And
And
if
the
you think
dance.
about this, like I have a lot of friends who have kids on travel ball teams. How much are they paying every weekend to go stay out of town and go into these tournaments, buying the
Yeah,
equipment?
it's not cheap.
I remember Autumn did Legally Blonde Junior at another local theater summer camp. And she got cast as Elle Woods. And one of the things on the form was, are you willing to dye your hair? And of course, I think she was, 13 at the time, 13 or 14. And she's like, yeah, I'll dye my hair, And then told me afterwards, she's like, oh, guess what? I got cast as Elle Woods and I told him I'd dye my hair. So I'm like, okay.
It's a good thing
So-
she's blonde anyway, so you're good.
She was not blonde.
Oh, she wasn't?
No. She was blonde as a baby.
Wait, was this the start of her blondage? Is that a word?
Blonde, it is now.
She's blondage is a word now. She was born blonde. She's a blondie. But as she got older, it turned dark brown. Same thing happened to my son, and he's got hair my color now.
Yeah, Pinky's is
So-
darker than it was when she was
Yeah.
a baby. Yeah.
So she had blonde hair when she was a baby. So I was like, okay, well, technically you were a blonde, right? So, but this was, Elle Woods blonde. It had to be
Platinum.
kind of
Pretty
like
platinum,
the bleach
yeah.
blonde. So I called my hairdresser, who's known my kids since she was a baby, where she had like one tiny sprig of hair on top of her head. And I was like, okay, we need it blonde. Like I need it stripped and dyed.
Yeah.
And she made the appointment. 5 minutes later, she calls me back. She's like, Kat, I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm not trying to say like I disagree with you, but she's only 13. Like you don't want to do this to her hair. And like, she told me all the things about it. And so I was like, okay, I understand, but this is something that she wants. And this is something that I'm willing to pay for, for her to do. And she'd already told them she would. So,
Yeah.
and then she called me back and she's like, you know what? Because her son actually signed on with the Red Sox. Like he got a contract when he was in 10th grade, I think.
Oh, wow.
So he did professional, like, and our sons had played baseball together. But yeah, she's like, you know what? This is no different. She's like, she didn't want to take my money because she knew it was going to be a lot of money and she was young. And she's like, you're going blonde, you're going to have to keep that up. And I'm like, it's not going to stay blonde.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Autumn has been blonde
She's
since
got
I
gorgeous
can
Yeah, I didn't
remember.
know
blonde.
she wasn't-
Whoever's doing her hair is doing a marvelous
Yeah.
Why,
job.
thank you. Nice job.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. I say that. She gets it done maybe once a year, once every 18 months, professionally. But in between, it's mom
Doing root
Little
touch-ups.
touch-up.
Mom, you're
doing
good.
some streaks. And she's just got natural highlights no matter how it is that comes through. But she
obviously
likes
it
it better.
worked.
It worked.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And she wanted to keep it. So she did.
Oh, I love that. What a great little story. I had no
Yeah.
idea about
Yeah.
that. And I love that it came out of theater,
Yep.
you know?
But just like any parent putting their kid in anything that they want to do, I mean, it's a time commitment, it's a money commitment. You got to be there for the ups and the downs, just like any other sport or any other activity that they want to do. So,
Yeah. Well, we definitely feel you on that.
Yeah, we
I
do.
know. It's
yeah.
role of the parent, right? You
Yeah.
just
And
gotta
having,
do all of that.
I mean, all of us have more than one child, so I know it's different because like I feel like oh well, you play soccer, so you're gonna play soccer because I'm already out here, and that's
Yeah,
kind
we
of
did
how
that
it
with swim.
started. We did that with swim too. We might have been on the same swim club
Winter
for a
Haven?
while. No,
Yeah, we were
we
on
were here
Wynn.
in Lakeland at Candy.
Yeah. I've talked about Gandy
I
and their
know.
pool
I
right over
listened.
Hades. So hot.
So it is. It
Like
is.
stupid hot.
It is
At the equator.
very true.
Yeah.
But at some point, we were able to allow them to do their own things. So, but it does take a lot of time commitment to do that. So.
Juggling, like I'm facing this week where we've got rehearsals, we've got a showcase, we've got juries, we've got out of the box. And I'm like, I literally sat down this morning and I was like, I'm not entirely sure how I'm getting everybody where they need to be on time, but we're going to figure this out.
Yep. It is. It's a full-time job to me. Like the logistics of all of that is crazy. And I love doing that kind of stuff. And that's probably why I got into stage management, is because I like figuring out all that stuff. But it does take a lot of time commitment. And, I want to be home sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Or I need to go walk my dogs, but I got to be driving my kids in different directions. But they're old now. So.
I know, you only have a few months left. When will she start hearing from these different colleges?
Okay, so
Yeah, 'cause
back
she's
to
a senior
that.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
It's
right in the middle of it.
happening.
We're right in the middle of it.
Oh.
So there's deadlines for these pre-screens. So we're touching up a couple of her videos right now to submit. So then if it's a school that requires a pre-screen, she has to pass it before she can go to the next stage, which is the audition, which is a whole nother ballgame. So if she doesn't pass, then she doesn't want to consider. She's already been academically accepted into several with great scholarships, but that's great. She doesn't want to go if she's not into the musical theater program. So she has to pass the pre-screen, and if she does, for those schools, then she has to go to an audition. So
And those are in person.
yes, I think they have virtual options now just because of COVID. I think they did it for a while. Everything was virtual, but now they give the kids the option. My daughter does not like virtual.
Yeah.
She likes in person.
She
It's
wants
just
to
a
feel it
different
and see it.
vibe.
Sure.
She
Feel the
comes
energy of the
across
room.
really well in person versus over camera. So that was another thing I learned about, was a thing called unifieds or combination auditions. So they schedule a couple different, I don't even know if it's a group of people that put these on or how it's done, but they host them in different cities, and the schools come there. So you fly to one place,
That's nice.
and you have
Yeah,
a bunch of
that's nice.
auditions.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't audition once for everybody. You still have to audition that number of times, depending on what schools you're
Yeah,
auditioning
but you're not
for.
flying all over the country.
Right.
Yeah, true.
So the big ones are Chicago, New York, and LA. And I've already booked our hotel for Chicago in February. My sister's
gosh.
like, you're going to need more than a sweatshirt.
It'll be nice and warm. It'll be wonderful.
I was like, yeah. But the actual auditions are in the same hotel that we're staying in. So
Oh, that's
we
nice.
might
You have to
not leave the
leave.
hotel.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you might not
Hopefully
have
have a
Let's
good
see,
restaurant.
depending on the weather.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but we already have, like, I think there's 6 or 7 schools that she's applied to that are there. Will she audition for all of them? No, because she won't pass all the pre-screens. That's just, you have to go in knowing that you're going to get rejections, and it's not because you're not talented. They're just looking for certain things, and they may already have a blonde belter. They might not need another one. For another couple of years. So.
True. I didn't think about that. So
Yeah.
how this freshman is going to come in and
Like balance
melt
out.
in with what they already got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
and you've got to have diversity, and you've got to have people with varying vocal styles, varying
Yeah.
dance styles, varying looks. So yeah, it's just like an audition process. It's just like
Yes. Oh my goodness.
you can be so talented and not get the role, and it's not necessarily because they didn't like you or that you weren't talented enough. So that's very much true for colleges as well. Hence why you apply to so many to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So
It's not
I
like
wouldn't have thought of that.
no, it's not like going to med school or law school where if you do, you have this on your LSATs and you do this on your MCATs and you do
Right.
It's like, oh, you meet the benchmark, you're in.
Yeah.
It's totally different. You have
Yeah.
to
Are
think about what they
there
got.
recruiters? So like,
It's a good.
I had somebody that like I didn't go through the typical process for college, so I'm going to be flying blind to help my kids. I mean, Chris did, but I did not. I had somebody recruit me, and then I went to that program for a bit. It's a whole other story, not for today. So, like, yeah, do they have like somebody that comes to the schools and, you know?
I've never heard of that from a theater perspective. I have seen, and we've gotten calls from certain program that they're like, she's in, and we need her, we want her to commit, and I'm like, you don't even know my kid, like. Yeah. So I think there's certain places that do pursue, because I've heard of people committing to colleges well in advance of the normal like college application time frame. National Commit Day I think is like May 1st, so you get, basically you're holding your offers, and scholarship wise you're like, okay, this person's giving me this, but I really want to go here, so hey school, can you match this offer, or can you increase it? So you kind of like play them against each other if you're lucky enough to have multiple offers. But I have seen, I'm on a Facebook group, like MT Parents, and it's all about this process, and parents are on there, the kids are freshmen or sophomores, just soaking up all the information. And it can be a lot. You can go down rabbit holes, but some of the stuff coming across there, if you look, you're like, oh, that's good information to know.
So I'm sorry, say that again. MT Parents?
MT Parents.
Okay. It's on Facebook?
It's on Facebook.
Okay.
And it definitely is a good resource for college. It drives me crazy sometimes because, parents just are posting kids, pictures of their kids at prom. Like, I don't want to see that. It's not what this group is for.
I don't need that.
Right.
But
Where's the moderator?
Hoochie dress.
Yeah, exactly. Where's admin?
but again, it's also too, I had this list of schools that broke it down into extreme reach, moderate, and safety. And, I was like, somebody was asking, like, I don't know, like, we just haven't done the research, and I want to know if there's any other schools that maybe aren't as hard to get into, maybe we should apply to. So I said, DM me. I have, I can pass along some information. And I think I had like 15 or 20 other parents. Not the person that did the comment didn't even DM me. Oh, wow. It was a bunch of other people. And so we emailed back and forth, and they're like, so you get to talk and you get to know the parents too, because they're all going through the same thing. And it's, you commiserate together about some of this stuff, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. Because if you think about academic applications, the fees, every artistic application has a fee. And if you go through this platform that most schools want you to go through, they also have a processing fee. So it's not only the academic and artistic application fee, it's the processing fee for the pre-screen. Then some of them require an audition fee, let alone having to go to the audition. Mm-hmm. So it's just that process for that number of schools, several $1,000s.
Wow. That's amazing.
So knowing that in advance is very helpful to be able to save some money and put that away. Autumn started working this past year, so she's making her own money to kind of help towards this process too. So, because that's important.
As far as scholarship money goes, you mentioned academics. Is there also scholarship money through the theater piece of it, or is it just academics where you get your money?
So, I think academics. Most schools have a limit. It's kind of like almost like Bright Futures. If you hit this mark, you get the test score and you get the GPA, you get this money towards tuition. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of colleges have something similar to that. But the good thing is, and sorry, honey, I'm going to talk about your test scores. Autumn does not qualify for Bright Futures because of the test scores. She has opportunity to take it again and boost it. And she's actually really close. She did very well in the last one, but still she's not there. So out of 18 schools that we've applied to, only 2 required test scores. Most of the arts programs do not require test scores.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, and it was really funny because her brother, who is he got like 1490 on his SATs, at like a 4.6 GPA, I don't know, captain of this, captain of that, founded the Math Honor Society, all over the place. He got the top scholarship from Florida Southern, and they ended up not having the program that he wanted to go into, so he went to another school, but he got the top scholarship. So she gets a packet from Florida Southern, and she opens it, and she's like, what? She's like, okay, I've been accepted, and look at the amount of this, like, you know, and I'm thinking she doesn't know how much it costs to go to Florida Southern, but it was the same amount that my son got. And
That's awesome.
she was like, I didn't even have to submit my test scores. And because of her academic record, she has a high GPA. She's
proven
got,
herself
I
as a
think, almost
student.
2,000 like service hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She
That's
does so
another
much
thing in the
volunteering.
theater, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And
and it's kind of funny to think about. Like, I had Michaela start volunteering and doing stuff with the shows, and just one show, she'll rack up over 100 hours.
yes, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're always needing tech help too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fun. And even the techs love it because they
Yeah.
get in and they find their people too.
Yeah.
And they learn a lot of stuff. And yeah, they rack up as many shows. And then she's gotten gigs singing national anthem
Yeah.
for all sorts of events.
Nice.
Yeah, but she does Out of the Box, which is her favorite program. Yeah. And she does a couple of other things with like Catholic Charities and, you know, some non-theater stuff. Throw some of that stuff in there.
Gotta be well rounded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she like times at the swim meets. You know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, does this mean she's not going to go to Florida Southern because she's not interested?
Well, she didn't want to go to Florida. She wants to get out of
I
Florida.
know. That's so
And it's
funny.
really funny to watch her thinking a lot of times because you know when you get excited about something, then it's all about that. And she, you know, I hate New York City. Like I love to visit. I don't love it. I was born in New York. Like that's not the place for me. She loves it. We eventually did get to go over spring break, and we've been back since. And she just loves all the hustle and bustle and the walking and just that whole vibe. So that's where she sees herself. She sees herself in a bigger city. You know, she wants the 4-year college experience because that's the other option is, does she need to, as an artist, you know, how long is she going to be, you know, is she going to be able to perform and make money off of performing? That's all she wants.
Right.
She doesn't care where it is. She doesn't care. It doesn't have to be Broadway.
Right.
She wants to perform. She loves it and she's good at it, but she, you know, she got to make money off of it. You know, she's getting into adulthood. So
You don't have to have college, right?
No.
You can just go audition
Right.
and maybe.
and she's
get
never
something.
Yeah.
like gone and just auditioned like outside of the local.
Her little bubble.
Right. So that's totally an option. She might do that over the summer. Just go and just hit some professional audition.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, at least she'd learn even more stuff about it, even if
Right.
she didn't get cast.
Right.
Yeah. She's got
So
nothing to lose. Goodness gracious. Yeah.
Exactly. So it just gives you. It's almost like you're rehearsing for constantly going on, and you learn every time you audition for something. You learn something different. You work with different people. They ask you different questions. So that's something. You know, she's like, oh well, if I don't get into a program, I will just, you know, I'll just hit the streets and go looking for that. She's comfortable. She's like, I'll just go to Polk State and, you know, music education, music therapy, or some other things that she, something with music, definitely something that but she's like, that's what I want to do in 10 or 15 years when I've performed and I'm
Right,
done.
yeah.
Right.
And I want to kind of settle
Settle
down,
down, right.
and kind
Slow
of
down
be
a bit.
somewhere. Yeah. I told you, she's got it all
She
planned
does
out.
have it all
Oh,
planned.
I love it. She's such a smart
So
girl.
while she, you know, while she says this is where she wants to be, I think I think the hard part is going to be when those rejections start rolling in, because they will, and they do for everybody.
Yeah.
And she knows that, but it's still, you know, anytime you get a rejection, it's kind of, it hits your ego a little bit, and you wonder, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, you start second guessing yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's really going to depend on where she gets in, who gives her the most money, and, you know, whether we can make it work for the next 4 years. And that might be in Florida. You never know.
Yeah. It
Oh, wouldn't
might
that be a shame?
Yeah.
Oh, we
darn
could keep her
it.
for just a little bit longer.
I know. I'm like, you know, Saturday morning farmer's market we walk to. It's like, you're going to miss that. She's like, we'll get that when I come home. I'm like, okay. So, but she's, you know, she's very independent. So she, you know, that's what she wants. So we're going to make it happen one way or
Absolutely.
another.
Oh, yeah, I have
Be
no doubt.
somewhere.
She'll,
So.
yeah, I have no doubt. So what are those deadlines looking like? So those pre-screens, you'll start hearing about them soon?
I think most of the pre-screen deadlines are around December 1st. Some of them are later.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be submitting those in the next week or two.
Okay.
And then a couple of schools don't require you to pass the pre-screen, or they don't require pre-screen at all. And so she's already got auditions set up.
Okay.
So let me tell you what the audition schedule looks like. This will be a fun
That's a
one.
good thing to hear.
So she's got 6 auditions right now scheduled for the Florida combined auditions, which are at the Straz. Score.
Nice.
I can
Yeah.
45-minute drive.
Can actually drive.
I don't have to get a hotel room or a plane ticket. I can just drive. So she has 1 on a Thursday with a dance call, 1 on a Friday with a dance call, 4 on Saturday with a dance call. So that's kind of like a whole weekend in mid-January timeframe.
Of just dance.
Oh no, it's everything.
Oh, okay.
You're saying
all
in
of it.
addition, like singing
Yeah.
and a dance.
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes. So she'll have like the Thursday she'll have her singing and acting interview, whatever they do in that time frame. But then she has a dance call for the school that afternoon.
Gotcha.
So she's got 6 scheduled right now for that, middle of January. And then I think it was February 4th. She has an audition at Belmont, who they don't require pre-screens. They also don't attend any kind of unifieds. They want you there. So
Where's
we're
that school?
flying to Nashville.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
What
my
exciting.
sister
You
lives
guys
in
are there.
Knoxville, so that's
Ooh,
going to be a little bit of a
nice.
girls. We'll have a night there, a night or two, so that might be, I love
Okay.
Nashville.
That wouldn't be too bad.
No, I can
Yeah.
handle Nashville.
Okay.
So we fly to Nashville. So we'll fly on a Friday to Nashville. She'll audition on a Saturday. Sunday we fly to Chicago.
Wow.
So then Chicago Unifieds are Monday through Thursday, I think, or Monday through Friday. So it's a whole week of auditions. And I think there's 7 schools there that that she applied to, whether she passes pre-screens and gets an audition. And then we'll fly out Friday into New York City, and then she'll audition for Marymount Manhattan on Saturday.
Goodness.
That's another school. And there's still several schools that I'm not sure if they go to unifieds or not. So we might have to do some virtually. We might have to do some flying around. And I'm like,
My mind is just going to, keep her well, keep her well.
I know.
Because you've got these big things coming
we
up.
actually had that conversation
Yeah.
last night. I was like, you are wearing a mask from Christmas and like through
Forever.
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Yeah.
And she's
She
got
has like a whole regimen anyway that she does like every day. I remember her telling me about this when we were doing Elf. She
we've
was
done
like,
it all.
Girl, let me tell you,
We
I
have
do
done
this,
it
this,
all.
and I have a steamer and
Well, Jovi gave her, she let her try this throat, it's like a cough, like throat stuff. And I was like, and it helped her during ELF. So I was like, what? She's like, Amazon, here's the link. So
Like a spray?
Is it
not
a
that.
spray?
It's not from this country. So I don't know what's in it. So it's probably illegal.
Probably shouldn't advertise it then.
I don't know what it's called. I honestly don't, but it looks like molasses, and it really coats the throat. So
Okay.
it's something that I don't know. We've tried it.
You heard
and
it here,
was good.
folks. First.
We've heard- yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got some good shit in it. Whatever it is,
It works.
it works.
We're not asking questions.
We've got all sorts. The Grethers pastilles, like hard candies. She does gummies a lot because it gets that saliva flowing. I bought her a handheld personal steamer for Christmas last year.
Nice.
And actually, she's like, I'm like, do you have your steamer? Use your steamer. Like my throat's a little dry. Like use your steamer. Didn't use it.
All about the
That's
steamer.
we
got
just got
sick.
one the other day.
Uh-huh.
And I was
Girls have
like, use the steamer.
Yeah.
So she uses a steamer. She nasal rinses now because she's been having some issues.
Like
you
a
know.
neti pot rinse or
Not a neti pot. It's just a sinus rinse.
We have one. It's like a squeeze bottle.
Yeah, it's like a
got little
squeeze
medicine.
bottle and like a little salt.
It's disgusting, but man, it works.
It does. I'm
It
like,
feels so good
I'm like,
after.
what just came out of your
I
mouth?
know. It's pretty nasty.
But and now that she does it, it's like she has to do it every day. Like it feels better. It just cleans her out right here. So
Interesting.
we've done the head over the boiling pot of water with some tea tree oil. We've done thieves oil, and we've done thieves cough drops. So there's all sorts of
Yeah.
tips and tricks.
Do you know about the medicine ball at Starbucks?
I do.
Okay.
We've
Just
gotten
making
that
sure.
several times.
There you go.
And so, yep, we've
just
had a
learned-
couple.
I
of
just learned
those.
about that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to- yeah.
Yep, she's done that. She had that for Frozen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my
We had
gosh,
a lot
I
of
remember
medicine
that.
balls that show.
Oh, poor thing.
we were all sick on that
We
one.
were all like,
But what a great show.
all right, we need steroids. Who's got the
Pretty
steroids?
sure we tested positive for COVID after that
Was
one.
that the first? That was the
That
first.
was it was yeah.
Post-COVID
Both of our families
year,
were
right?
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it was the first
We're
post-COVID
like,
show.
it's just emotion. That was such an
Junior.
emotional show, though. That was it was such an emotional show.
It was beautiful.
It was, except for the time when I called it and there was a fire in the building
Oh
because
my
the
gosh,
fog
yes.
machine had leaked and gotten
we
next
have
to
fog.
the fog machine right next to the
And the next
fire
one.
sprinkler.
And everybody on stage is like, do we
And we're like,
evacuate?
I'm like,
what do we
you
do?
know, and
Kate
I'm
was
like,
doing spots on that one.
Laura, what do I
And
do?
You don't hear as well up in the spot booth.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know what's happening. And she's like texting me. I'm like,
either.
I'm not there.
There's firefighters here.
I was like, and I didn't have the God mic. The God mic was backstage.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, and it was a daytime
It's a daytime
performance.
show. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was COVID time. So we only had like
Yeah, it was like
30% capacity at the time
Yeah,
or something. It was
nobody
very
really.
spaced out. Camp shows. And I was like, Laura, what do I do? And then you hear like, everybody please exit, you know. So my daughter just like, okay, just walks right off
Yep.
stage. So
Elsa had to exit.
she did.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
we have fog
Good times.
in Rudolph.
Oh, jeez.
There's
I
going to be
love
a shit ton of
fog
fog in
when
Chitty
it
Chitty
works.
Bang Bang because the car's got to
bet.
fly through the clouds.
Great. Are you stage managing that one?
I have not been asked yet. I kind of like. I think I
directing
kind of
that
want to
one?
do that one, but like,
Yeah,
we'll have to,
that's
we'll see how it
It's
goes.
going to be a fun one. Mm-hmm. Very fun.
Yeah.
They're all fun. What am I saying?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
So I don't know why. I don't know why, but I feel like very Matilda vibes for Chitty Chitty. Like
'cause
maybe
it's
because
the
it's all
same
the
time
kids.
slot. It's the
It is
same time slot, though.
The same
It
time
is,
slot, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a mix between kids and adults.
there's supposed to be a lot of kids. Talking to us at one point about it, and he was telling us that there was like there's like a kid. I haven't seen the movie,
I haven't either.
so I don't
I'll
know
watch it
this.
every
But he was telling me
Thanksgiving.
there's like a guy that like kidnaps the kids or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
there is.
the kid
Oh.
stealer guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so you have to have a lot of kids for them to steal.
Yeah.
Kid stealer
Kid
guy.
stealer guy. Well, it was best
That
I
is
got.
title on the
sometimes, sometimes your brain gives you words, and sometimes
Yeah,
it does not.
I know all about that.
At my age, it's more not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
surprisingly. Like, where did they go? I know them.
The scary thing is when we talk like that, we all know what we mean.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
Especially if you put some
it doesn't
hand
really
gestures
matter.
in there.
Yeah,
We're in
Yeah.
good company.
Get a lot
yeah.
more animated.
Yeah.
when I
This
forget
is
the words.
restricting my hand gesture movement. Normally, I'm.
I know when you
it's
move and
hard.
you're like, shit, I hit the thing again. Yeah,
yeah, it's difficult, and I can't see Angela. It's just,
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I
it's
know.
got, like,
Well, and
this
I
big-
had the blinds, like the light is shifted, so I've been
Yeah.
watching the lighting in here change. I'm like, I have no idea what this is gonna look like on the podcast.
That's all
It's all
good.
good.
Y'all are stripey.
Stripey. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Kathy have stripes.
That's okay.
That's all good.
Yeah.
We look good.
Gosh, wait. What
I know. I feel like we're.
We've been talking.
Wow, we have been talking a
Yeah,
while.
we've been
You have
talking
so
for
much information.
hours.
Like, thank you so much. This is.
I know. I think we have to bring you back on just to
Yeah.
keep finishing the conversation.
Sure, I'd love to.
Well, we
Yeah.
need to
It's only
keep,
a 2-minute walk.
Yeah, especially after you do all these
Yes, we need to
auditions.
keep-
And you
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
hear.
There's definitely the
You know?
next after, like when you hit March, April timeframe. That's when I think stuff starts rolling in, and you know the bad part is like you can get waitlisted, but you have to make a decision. So
Right, yeah.
If you commit to a school and then the wait list opens up, so there's going to be a lot of different things, but we'll see how it goes. I'm like hoping for the best and expecting the worst, kind of a thing, because I really don't know what to
Yeah.
expect. But right now, we just have to make sure we hit our deadlines. That's the important part.
So once you commit, it's really probably bad form to be like, you know what, I thought about it. And I'm
I
gonna go
think
with it.
people understand, especially here, like because people wait until the last minute. So if you're a kid and you have 15 schools that you have offers from, you can only go to one. So the courteous thing to do is to contact the schools you don't want to go to. So that opens up a spot for somebody else to get that
Right.
acceptance.
That makes sense.
And start that process. Because if you hold all of your acceptances till the deadline, then once that deadline hits, those other kids either didn't commit
Yeah.
anywhere, didn't get in anywhere,
You're
and they
preventing somebody
might
else.
right. So it's kind of good form to, if you know for sure that you're not. Now, if you're going between a couple different schools, yes, until you might want to take a campus visit or talk with them, because a lot of schools, and Autumn's drawn to the schools that are really pushing the health of the students these days, because that's an important part. I mean, you do theater, that's your body, that's your instrument. You've got to take good care of it. So the programs that, there's a couple schools on there that she was like, yeah, in order to go to this program, you might have to lose weight. And she's like, yeah, that's not the program for me. That's a whole nother topic.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want schools that are going to they're looking out for you too. And they want you to be healthy, and they want, so they have like mental health visits. They have nutritionists
That's
just to
amazing.
help them
Yeah, that's awesome.
be
Yeah.
who they are and not force them to all look like stick figures. So
Well, we definitely want to have you
love
back
that.
after you've been through all that. You can give us more
Sure.
advice, and this has been wonderful.
Well, and also, obviously we're invested.
Well, yeah, we gotta know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah.
if you guys ever have any questions, you know where to find
Oh,
me.
we know now.
Can we talk about what she's got coming up more recently? What she's going to be in?
Sure. She will be performing as Marmee in Little Women.
Nice.
Yes, it's her first lead role at Harrison. I'll just say it because
Yeah.
everybody
We'll
knows
be there
anyway.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah,
already have
we have our
tickets.
tickets.
So we're excited.
So she's very excited. She's been
We saw her in Mary Poppins. She was goosebumps. She was so good.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Mary Poppins vanquishing her away.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
gosh,
was
that whole
fun.
scene.
Pulling her
I
through
was
the
just on the
fireplace.
edge of my seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole time.
It's
Those
good.
women
She's-
together were like,
Oh, yes.
But yeah, she's been given some great roles. So she's excited for this one too. So
good. Well, we're excited to come
Yeah.
see her.
Yeah, I can't wait.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thank you. We
Okay.
really appreciate your time and
Absolutely.
all of your information.
I had a
and
lot of fun.
we will
Yeah.
be
There's
in
more in
touch.
there.
I know.
Yeah,
I
somewhere.
know.
Yeah.
You don't have to run your own board. I just do it because I'm a control freak, and if I say lights and the lights don't go, I'm gonna be like reaching over and smacking somebody's hand to hit the lights.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Seems to be a theme. Control freaks and stage,
Yeah, I'm
stage
no- yeah,
managers.
we're
you
noticing
really
that.
Have you done
Very
the
good.
anagram
pretty
thing?
anal about that one.
Enneagram.
The anagram?
Enneagram.
Enneagram.
Not idiot. Enneagram. ENNEAGRAM.
The E one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the E one. Have you done those where your
No.
number? Like
No.
you take a test and then you
I've
figure
taken
out,
lots of
I'm a
different
2 or I'm a whatever, I'm an 8.
personalities. I don't know.
What
I've
about you?
taken
You're
the
a what?
birth
You're a
test
3.
before.
I think
thought
you're
you were
a
a
1.
I'm a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the control freak. That's,
She's like a
that's what the one is.
perfectionist.
I'm the
Yes.
perfectionist.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
I'm like the
But
take
Angela's
charge
sweet
leader.
and quiet.
I don't think that's an option.
That's not an option when it comes to what my supposed to do. So
You have to take that and tell us what you are.
I will. Somebody has to send that to me. It's like I've taken the bird test, and I know I'm an eagle. I'm
What's
the one
that?
that.
Oh, I've
I
not
don't
heard
know
of that
about a
one.
bird test.
So like dove is like the sweet, quiet
Peacemaker, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, not me,
the
okay.
peacemaker, people pleaser kind of role. The owl is like organized, very methodical, takes a long time to think through things before making a decision. The peacock is the social butterfly. Yeah.
Excuse me. I think there's
What was that?
a little itch in my eye.
Peacock is social, just,
Huh.
and then the eagle is kind of the one that likes to lead and manage things.
All right. So we got a peacock and we got an eagle and
Probably.
what was hers? What did we
What
say?
am I? An owl?
Are you an owl?
Owl.
Yeah, she's
yes.
an owl.
Yes. There we go. Okay. There we go. And what were you in all of that mix?
I am right on the border of an
You're a
eagle and a
hybrid.
peacock.
Okay.
So I'm social,
Gotcha.
but I also am quick and to the point, blunt.
Yeah, you don't take around the bush. Yeah.
No.
You're so an eagle.
Yeah, I'm so an eagle.
So another reason why we were probably like, oh,
Kindred spirits, yeah.